What's going on, guys? For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, I'm going to be ranking every MCU movie post-Endgame, every single film from Spider-Man Far From Home right up until Thunderbolts, the most recent MCU project. Now listen, you guys might be thinking, Ty, why are you just randomly ranking MCU films? I'm going to be honest. I miss my baby, and my baby is the MCU, and it's been like over a month since I made like an MCU video. That wasn't news because with the Thunderbolts I ranked Phase 5, but you know what, I was like, let's just rank every film post-Endgame, make another video, because honestly, I can't wait until Fantastic Four. I just want to talk about the MCU, quite honestly. So as you guys can see on screen here, we've got 5 different tiers, A, B, C, D, and F. They're pretty self-explanatory, quite honestly, and again, in release order, we've got all 14 post-Endgame films. We're just going to go in release order, like I just mentioned, so let's just dive right into this. There's really no reason to waste any more time, except if you want to waste some time and drop a like and also subscribe. Stick around and watch some more movie content that I'm going to be putting out, especially for Superman, the big boy that's coming out. But yeah, July is going to be packed, but let's dive into this list here. Starting off with Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm actually starting off in the F tier. I know that might sound kind of crazy. I know that some of you are going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man might be my favorite superhero. I think this is far and away, get it, far and away, the worst Spider-Man film. Far From Home literally just pisses me off, I'm going to be honest. This is one of only a few movies that honestly borderline like offends me at a certain point. I feel like this film, first of all, is just so safe. Like, yes, it takes it to Europe, but there's no sauce here. I feel like John Watts just did such a horrible job at directing this movie. And, like, no disrespect to him. You know, he's a solid director. I guess he's a serviceable director. But I feel like there's literally no cool factor to this entire film. I don't like that he's in Europe the whole movie. Like, sorry, I get they tried to do something different, but I just want like a normal Spider-Man movie. And also, he's just acting so stupid in this Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, I'm saying, because he just gives Mysterio the glasses, even though they like can control like missile strikes and all this other stuff. And Tony Stark, his dead mentor, gave those to him as like his dying wish, and he just hands them away. It's a really stupid movie. And also, like, I get it's supposed to be like a twist, but the fact that this is all just drones at the end of the day, I feel like upon rewatch, if for some reason you want to rewatch this movie, I feel like it takes away the impact of every single fight, because you're like, yeah, they're just drones. Like, it would have just been cooler if they were really monsters. Like, I get it, though. It's Mysterio. He's the master of illusions, and there's one cool illusion scene in this movie, but that's not enough to save this entire film. I just think it's really rough from start to finish. Is it the worst MCU movie? No, we're actually going to be talking about the worst MCU movie in this video today, but I just think that it's pretty rough, honestly. Next up's going to be Black Widow. I'm super nostalgic for Black Widow because this is the first MCU movie that I watched in theaters. I know that's going to sound kind of crazy, but I watched all my MCU movies for the first time like early 2021, and I never looked back. I'm a diehard fan now. This is going to be going in the C category, okay? I used to be a defender of this movie. I used to probably put it in like B, but I just rewatched it for Thunderbolts, and it honestly isn't as good as I remember it. I think it's just a bit lackluster, and there's some parts that just fall a bit flat. But I cannot deny how good Florence Pugh is as Yelena. Obviously, ScarJo as Natasha. I mean, she's just great. I know that some people say, oh, but Yelena's already better than her. She wasn't really that good of a character. I will defend Black Widow to the end of the day, okay? I just think it's a good movie. And listen, again, keep in mind, I just said I'll defend Black Widow, the character, not the movie. Because at this point, I'm kind of just like lackluster on it. Is it really that great? No, but I do like that she at least got her own origin story. I honestly really like the ending of this film as well, like the cool space battle. I understand that some people don't like it, they think it's stupid, but I just think it's kind of cool, honestly. There's some cool set pieces in here, and it's not the most flashy MCU movie. It's kind of just like another entry. And also, one other thing I want to mention, I know a lot of people say, oh, this movie came out too late. Guys, now that it's been 4 years since this film came out, that doesn't really matter because now it just exists like any other MCU movie. So you can't really complain that it came out too late when now it just exists just like any other movie does. So it doesn't really matter. You can just watch it whenever you want to watch it now. But yeah, it's going to be going in C tier. Next is going to be Shang-Chi. This is going in A tier. I absolutely love Shang-Chi. I think it's one of the best MCU films, and it was at least, you know, we'll talk about the best, I think, in a second here, but it was until another film released. But I think it's just such a good origin story. It feels like a good, like, phase 1 to 3 MCU film where you just got an interesting character on an awesome journey. I feel like the director here, Mr. Cretton, he brought the sauce, honestly. The fight scenes are ridiculous, and you really just grow to love Shang-Chi as a character. The villain, Wenwu's awesome. I know some people complain about Awkwafina. I really don't think she's that bad as Katie, especially because I feel like she's not just off the walls annoying in this movie. I think she's a bit toned down, but I love Shang-Chi. I haven't watched it in a long time. I really need to rewatch it, but it's still great. To me, it's A tier. I think it just absolutely excels. Next up is going to be The Eternals, another F tier MCU movie. I'm definitely going to be putting it behind Spider-Man Far From Home because I'd rather watch a Spider-Man movie than The Eternals, but I have not watched this film since the theaters. It's been like 3.5 years, and that tells you something. And again, I'm a diehard MCU fan. I always want to rewatch MCU movies. I have no interest to rewatch this movie. I remember this was the first time I sat in a theater for an MCU movie, and I was like, whoa, that was pretty bad. And I remember being excited for this movie. It's going to be artsy because Chloe Zhao is coming in to direct it, who's an independent director, of course. And I was just so confused at what went wrong here because on paper, this is a really cool premise, and the time jumps and having this massive ensemble of awesome actors, and again, a great director, and the way it looks, it's a beautiful film, just visually, but the story did not work. I really did not enjoy a lot of these characters, and I thought the villains were bad. At what point, is there even anything else to talk about? If I think the characters, the plot, and the villain are bad, what else do you want me to say? It looks nice. I don't care at the end of the day if the substance isn't there, because then that's just style over substance, which bothers me to no end. It's an F tier film. Next up is going to be Spider-Man No Way Home. This is honestly kind of tough for me right now. I didn't really prepare for this video. Spider-Man No Way Home was my most anticipated movie of all time. I think it aged poorly, and I know that everyone on the internet's like, oh, now it's just cool to say this movie aged poorly. I think it just did. Like, I'm sorry, there's really no beating around the bush there. I'm going to put this at the top of C, and I know that might sound kind of crazy. I think it's such a fun film. Unbelievably fun. I'm so grateful for that theatrical experience that I had. I was screaming in my chair when we saw the Spider-Man. I just don't think it's that good of a movie. From start to finish, I don't think it's that good. First of all, I think the first, half of the film is very boring and very tedious to get through. The entire plotline around curing the villains, if you will, makes literally no sense. And I also just think that, I don't know, the trailer showed a lot. I feel like the final battle was pretty cool, but it was slightly underwhelming. It's a very fun movie, right? I just don't really find myself being like, oh my god, I want to rewatch No Way Home. And I know that's a hot take because it's such a fun movie and you got to turn your brain off, but sorry, I like good writing. You could kill me. I like Aunt May's death. I think that's such a powerful scene, even though it happened in the third film, which is a little bit weird to me. And there's just some other things, like some awkward CGI that just throw me off. And it's a cool movie. Again, I'm happy it exists, but I feel like this movie did a lot of damage to Hollywood, quite honestly, since it came out, where every studio is just trying to get the biggest cameo for their franchise now. Look at Jurassic World Dominion, and I just feel like this film, again, aged poorly. It's kind of as simple as that. Next up, and you guys are going to want to absolutely kill me, we've got Multiverse of Madness, which is going to go in B tier. I know some of you are screaming and crying right now. How is this B tier and this is C tier? I think Multiverse of Madness also has a pretty lackluster story. I do find it at least even and understandable at the bare minimum, where No Way Home literally just has plot holes that I don't think make sense with the spell, all this other stuff. Again, curing the villains doesn't make sense. But either way, I think Multiverse of Madness just has the Sam Raimi sauce. I'm sorry, I know that we were just talking about Spider-Man 2 with Tobey, but I just think that Sam Raimi really brings it here. I love watching Wanda just annihilate all the Illuminati. I know that some people say, oh, it was just cheap cameos. I thought it was a cool scene. I also like the horror elements in here. I'm not even really a horror guy, but I just think this is a cool movie. Just to be clear, this film will most likely end up at the very back of B, like a high C type of film. But I just really like this movie, and it's actually grown on me. I don't think it's gonna grow on me anymore. I think I've hit my peak enjoyment, but ever since I've been watching it, I think it's great. I've seen it 4 or 5 times now. I know it might be a little bit crazy, but I just love the musical sequence, and I just think it's a cool movie. I love the Sam Raimi style. I'm obsessed with it. The wings at the end. You got the corny transitions. It's just up my alley personally. And I can understand why some of you wouldn't like it, but it's just my type of movie, man. I just really enjoy it, even though I understand it's not that good. Next up, we've got Thor Love and Thunder. I'm a bit easier on Thor Love and Thunder than most people. I'm going to go D tier, okay? I remember being... Okay, I can say that about any one of these films, quite honestly. But I really remember being so excited for Thor Love and Thunder. I was listening to Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses before this film came out for 2 months because it was in the trailer. And I was just so hyped. I'm not even joking, man. My friends and my girlfriend were like, please stop playing this song in the car. Because I couldn't stop playing it. I was so hyped. Again, it was in the trailer and I was just like, this is going to be another Ragnarok. And I know some people don't like it. Some people love it. I think Ragnarok's like a great MCU movie. Is it amazing? No. But either way, I was like, Thor Love and Thunder, it's going to recapture that energy. We got Taika Waititi coming back to direct. What could go wrong? And I feel like everything went wrong because the problem is it pushed the boundaries of Ragnarok. I feel like Ragnarok was already walking on like kind of like a fine line. I don't think it was ever like too silly. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but this movie's just too silly, man. And I feel like the plot here, it's just not all that interesting. The Jane stuff, like the cancer storyline, I do like. I resonate with that. I feel like that's a very emotional story, especially because Jane's been in this franchise for like a decade now, up to the point of this film. But I just feel like it's just too silly, man. We see Gore the God Butcher, who's awesome, but we don't ever get to see him actually kill any gods. There's so many times where tension is cut off by jokes, and I feel like this was truly the peak of the MCU getting, like, clowned for that, like, that era of, like, he's right behind me, isn't he? Just awful jokes in here, like goats screaming. It's just not funny. This film is going to go in D, though, because, again, I do like the color palette. I like Thor as a character. Kill me. I think there's maybe a couple funny jokes in here or whatever, but it's a bad movie, okay? Let's just be very clear, it's a bad movie. Next up is going to be Wakanda Forever. This is a very weird movie because even though I really loved it when it came out, I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5. I don't really know why, quite honestly. I think that my love for this film is definitely diminished. I actually have not seen this movie since it came out. I don't know why. It's definitely like a very emotional film. Kind of reminds me of Guardians 3, but more in the sense that it's emotional because it's related to something in real life with Chadwick Boseman's passing. May he rest in peace. This movie was dealt a horrible hand. Ryan Coogler was put in a tough spot, the whole cast, but they powered through, and I think they made a solid movie. I'm going to put this at the back of B because, again, I've had literally no desire to rewatch it. This is like a nearly 3-hour film, and I don't think it's like all that interesting. Very emotionally powerful, again, because of things that happen in real life. I will say this, and not being disrespectful whatsoever, I do think maybe they should have just recast Black Panther, and I understand if they said, no, we want to do it this way, no problem. I'm just saying, if it was up to me, and of course I didn't personally know Chadwick Boseman, so no disrespect whatsoever, I would have made the business decision just to recast, but I also obviously respect the decision to not recast and then just move on with the story because Chadwick's basically irreplaceable. So honestly, a really solid, good MCU movie and one of, if not the most emotional films in the MCU. Next up, it's going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the worst movie in the MCU. As bad as the Eternals is, I was so hyping up Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I remember telling my friends, nah, guys, pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I know the MCU's been bad, but we're coming back with the start of Phase 5, baby. Kang the Conqueror is coming from Loki. We've got Ant-Man going to the quantum realm that we saw in Endgame. It's going to be like multiversal. It's going to set up Kang for Kang Dynasty, the Avengers movie. This is going to be insane. And I remember watching this movie, and I gave it like 3 stars out of 5. I was trying to cope, and I was like, okay, that wasn't amazing, but it was serviceable. It was fine. Then I rewatched it. It's horrible. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I think I give it like a 1.5. It's not like one of the worst films I've ever seen, really, but one of the worst superhero films ever, in my opinion. And it's just awful. It's god-awful. And this is the thing, and I've said this on my channel before. There's a difference between a bad movie and a bad movie that had potential. This movie is a bad movie that had potential, and that's what bothers me even more. Because if you want to just be bad, just be bad. I look at like Kraven the Hunter. Sure, maybe there was some potential if they went a completely different route, but there wasn't really any potential with that, or Madam Web or Morbius. But I feel like Quantumania really had potential to be like a top 7 MCU movie. If there was just this awesome quantum realm story where Kang was dominant and Ant-Man was like fighting for his life. But instead, what did we get? We got MODOK. We got a stupid story. We got Cassie Lang being arguably the most insufferable character in the MCU. And it sucks because I really love Kang in this movie. Jonathan Majors, that's another story. But I feel like he's the only saving grace in here. But the fact that Ant-Man beats up Kang, what are we doing here? I'm still under the take, and I love Scott Lang, right? I still think Kang should have killed Ant-Man in this movie. I just think that would have been such an awesome way to set up Kang Dynasty, and even if Ant-Man maybe like sacrifices himself to like kill Kang, but he doesn't actually kill him, that would have been great. But instead, Ant-Man and a bunch of ants beat him. Next up is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. If I didn't have a family, like my own family, my parents, my sister, my girlfriend, I guess you could say, this would be my second family. The Guardians of the Galaxy would be my second family. This is going to be going to the top of A. James Gunn just continues to deliver masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. And you could say I'm a glazer. You could say, oh, you're one of these James Gunn fans, right? I don't hate Zack Snyder. I know that we're getting into super different territory here, but I do think that he legitimately has his misses as a filmmaker, a lot of misses. The thing with James Gunn is the guy just doesn't miss. Like, he's literally just continued to make incredible MCU film after incredible DC film after incredible DC show after incredible project going. I could not be more excited for Superman, but that's a story for another day. But Guardians 3 really just showed his full potential. I actually don't even think it's the best Guardians film. I think it's the second best because I love the first movie the most, just from honestly a nostalgic standpoint, and I just personally love the story a little bit more. But Guardians 3 is so emotionally powerful. It really tied this family together in the most painful way possible. It just shows James' strengths as a creative and as a writer and a director. And even just from there, it felt like the cast was just so into this movie. It felt like when they were crying in this film, they were also crying because they knew it was the end of the road. For their career with the Guardians. It's an emotional film. It almost reminds me of Wakanda Forever in a way where something outside of the film, obviously not on the same level, is affecting them. Because it really does feel like this cast is a family from all the behind the scenes stuff. And they knew this was going to be their last ride. So I feel like you really feel that pain in this movie also. But man, my only complaint, and I know this is a stupid complaint, and I'm not too serious about it, is that I still think somebody should have died in this movie. And I'm not saying that death is the only way that characters' conclusions can be set up. But before this movie came out, it felt like everyone was going to die. And then no one died, and I was kind of like, if you cut off one character, I feel like that would have just brought the team a little bit closer together. Not that they're not close already, but whatever. I digress. It's really not that important. It's a minor nitpick. I really love this movie, man. I love this movie. I love the line with Startled at the end where he's like, I bet we were fun. When Gamora says that, and he was like, yeah, we were. So painful, so bittersweet, but it sets you off on that great journey. And in case you guys can't tell, I love the Guardians, and I'm not afraid to admit that I absolutely love James Gunn, just because he puts out great movies. Next up is going to be The Marvels. The Marvels is a weird film because in a similar way, I should say, to Wakanda Forever and The Eternals, I have not seen The Marvels since theaters, and even though I didn't really think it was that good, for some reason in my head, it's actually aged pretty well. And that rarely happens for bad movies, but the more I think back to it, the more I'm just like, it was kind of fun. Maybe it wasn't too serious. It was honestly kind of stupid with the plot. I think the plot doesn't really make that much sense, but I was like, it's actually kind of fun. I'm going to put The Marvels at the back of C. I'm not exactly doing it a favor here. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, it's an F, it's in D, but I think they're just this trio here with Kamala Khan, Captain Marvel, and then Monica Rambeau. I just think they're a good time. And I think that this movie just has a lot of fun, younger energy, especially because of Miss Marvel. And I'm happy that she finally got to be in the limelight here. And I just feel like it's just a fun movie. It's a colorful movie. And I think the villain sucks. Again, I don't think the plot's that good. I'm really giving this film some leeway, and I've not seen it since theaters, so give me a break here. It's been a year and a half. Maybe I'll throw it on pretty soon, because I just want to check it out again, just to kind of refresh my brain. But I just think it's a fun, bad movie. Let's put it that way. So I'm not going to give it too much respect, but it's going to be going right here. Deadpool and Wolverine is practically my second most anticipated movie of all time, at least just in the past couple of years behind No Way Home. And unfortunately, this movie suffered the same fate as No Way Home. I had a great theatrical experience, and I'm not trying to be a bandwagoner here. I'm not just faking this just because everyone's saying it. I genuinely, in my heart, and it hurts me to say, think this movie aged poorly. And I know it's only been 1 year, but the plot is just not good in this film. This is a C tier movie. It's going to be going above these for sure. Is it better than No Way Home? I'll honestly put it above No Way Home just for now, because I love the X-Men as well, and Spider-Man. Even though I like Spider-Man more, I do think I like this movie maybe a little bit better. I don't know, man. I go back and forth. Actually, I'm going to put it right here. This is the thing. I just feel like the story in this movie is really rough. It's as simple as that. It's the same thing as No Way Home. There's fun cameos. It's funny. It's silly. It's in your face. Oh my god, right? It's crazy. but I just think it's not a well-written film. And some people are really going to sit here and whine and cry to me that, oh, but you shouldn't have gone into this movie thinking you're going to get like the most well-written movie of all time, like Shawshank Redemption or Goodfellas. But this is the thing. I think that the first Deadpool movie is a pretty well-written movie, and it's also funny and flashy and gory. Deadpool 2, I think, is also a funny movie that's pretty well-written. It's a pretty good comic book film. I think that Logan is awesome, obviously. X-Men Days of Future Past. So why does this movie get a pass for just being fun and now the writing could just suck? I don't think Sean Levy is that great of a director, kind of like John Watts actually, where he's more of like a system guy, almost like an NBA player, like a system quarterback in the NFL, if you guys know what I'm talking about, where they're kind of just there to just be serviceable. They don't really elevate anything. They kind of just do their job and they just leave and they head out. I don't think it's that good of a film. And again, I had a great theatrical experience. I love the intro. I think it's kind of funny, right? It's a good time, whatever. I just don't think it's that good of a movie. Next up's going to be Captain America Brave New World. This is going to go to the top of D. I'm really disappointed with this film. This is one of the most disappointing ones on the list because this really had potential. The trailer sold me. Winter Soldier's arguably my favorite MCU film. If not, it's my second favorite because Guardians 1 and Winter Soldier I kind of go back and forth on, just depending on which one I've watched more recently at this point. I just feel like we were going to get a Winter Soldier light. Not as good as Winter Soldier, but just kind of up that same alley. But the villain is just so awful in here. I feel like the plot is so rough. It's so paper thin. And Sam Wilson's character just got done dirty in here. I think Anthony Mackie, they really just screwed him over. This movie was reshot to death. They were mixing and matching things last minute. I just don't think it's that good. There's some action set pieces that I think are good. I think that it's less offensive than Thor Love and Thunder because it's just not like as annoying. And also, this is just like a side note. This is definitely a personal thing. I'm not really like a Hulk guy. So when I saw that Red Hulk was going to be in here, I was like, great, awesome. And then the marketing proceeded to spoil the entire final fight. So I'm watching this movie and I'm just thinking, when's Red Hulk going to show up? When's Red Hulk going to show up? Not just because I wanted to jump to it, but more just because it made the film a lot more predictable. Why would you ever want to watch a predictable movie? I think that's really ridiculous. Next up, we've got Thunderbolts, the most recent film. This might be a hot take. At this point in time, I think that Thunderbolts is the best MCU film since Endgame. I feel like it fully captured the magic of like a phase 1 to 3 Infinity Saga MCU film. I really love this team, the new Avengers you could say. I think that the themes that it tried to pursue with like depression and mental health really hit me and I was like, wow, this is powerful. I can't believe they're going for it. It felt a lot less formulaic than other MCU films, which I really liked. The set pieces are awesome. Sentry is just absolutely great. My boy Bob there. You've got Allegra DeFontaine going crazy, right? Elaine from Seinfeld. And I just think there's just little bits and pieces and little awesome moments. It's funny, it's sad, it's flashy. And the ending sequence, again, they really just went for it. And I just think that Jake Schneider, I believe that's his name, the guy who also did Beef, which is like one of my favorite shows of this decade, his writing and his ability to direct is just so great. And even when he's working in a studio system, which of course Marvel is, of course it still does feel pretty formulaic because it's an MCU movie. They all feel that way, no matter what film it is. I think he still did a good job of kind of putting his stamp on this movie and still showing enough creative freedom to where you can kind of see his touch on this movie. Yelena's awesome. All these characters are awesome. And I absolutely love this movie. Guardians 3, though, in this movie are interchangeable. I just haven't watched Guardians 3 in a while, so that's why I haven't put it there. But that's going to wrap up this tier. As you guys can see, I'm not the biggest fan of post-Endgame movies, but I feel like hopefully we're in for a good run here, but who knows at this point. But listen, let me know what your post-Endgame ranking is in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.